Are you one of the thousands of people that have taken so many classes and bought so many packages or sessions and read every book available, trying to figure out how to create sustainable change in your life? You look around the world and you see people just creating these magnificent lives they love. They travel, they spend time with their friends and family, they're living their passion and their purpose, and you just sit back and go, when is it my time? What am I missing? I've tried everything and I just can't seem to get over this hump. I want to live my best life too. And most people are incredibly frustrated and tired of buying so many things, trying to just begin to create the essence of a life that they truly love. And they can't figure out what that hidden obstacle is. And they sit there and ask themselves so many questions. How am I going to create the life that I want? When do I get to create the life I want? When is it my turn? And they just can't get to the root of it. And one of the biggest problems that I see that create a hindrance in people's lives is what we call a Newtonian world perspective. It means what we predict in our future is based on what we've already experienced in our past. So what that means is if we've had or observed a series of relationships and they've been full of hardships and turmoil and disappointment, then within the deepest recesses of our mind, we hold a belief that relationships are those things. And we keep attracting those same types of relationships because that has now become our definition of relationships. And so we will recreate these same scenarios over and over again in our lives. We'll create bosses that don't appreciate us. We will attract them in because our belief is within the subconscious recesses of our mind. Bosses don't value you. They don't appreciate you. They don't pay you for what you're worth. They don't respect you. Money is difficult to obtain. It leaves easily. Only the rich have, that wealth and that prosperity and power. And that we have all of these series of agreements playing out in the deepest recesses of our mind and our subconscious. But what most people don't understand is, where did those beliefs come from? Why are they still playing out? Why are they still causing problems in the here and now? I've done all my shadow work. I've done trauma work, and they're still playing out. I don't understand how they have not been eradicated yet. And this is because I believe one of the hardly spoken about truths is our body almost becomes our subconscious based on our past experiences. So how this works is when we experience a physical, emotional, or sexual trauma of any kind, and the trauma does not need to be extreme. It can be acute, it can be chronic, it can be one insignificant incidents to someone else, but especially if you're a light worker and you're sensitive to energetic patterns, it can be incredibly impactful for you. Repeatedly experiencing judgment, ridicule, threat of ridicule or judgment, or being ostracized, or being shamed in public, being made fun of. A lot of light workers had these experiences, especially as children, because they were different. They just didn't fit in. We have a tendency to really trigger people because we can speak the truth, especially as children when we're very connected in, especially if you come from a religious background. If you're speaking about being able to see the angels, receiving messages from them, if you're able to channel, which is a prophetic ability, and you spoke of truths about Yeshua or Sophia or many others that they know from their religions, and it didn't jive with what they were taught religiously, then they could think that you were receiving negative messages, maybe from the devil or something like that. And they would tell you, traumatize you emotionally in many ways by telling you to stop connecting into them, telling you that it was something bad and something evil. And especially if they went out of their way to take you to a priest and have a priest talk to you or things like that. There are many, many things that we experience that we might not even remember. And they can cause a deep emotional impact in our lives that we never quite get over until we go into that line. But we also have to release the emotional signature that it's been carried and held within our body. Because as I said, our body becomes our subconscious, meaning as those traumatic experiences were stored in our cellular memory and they were created, then what happens is we have a stress response along with those emotional traumas or triggers. And a few of the stress hormones are dopamine or adrenaline or cortisol. And those stress hormones flood our body because they're our fight or flight response. We freeze, we run, we need elevated blood pressure and reaction time. It floods all of our body with everything we need to respond to a threat. The problem is the threat is emotional, or it could be physical, but just for the use of this example, a lot of people experience repeated emotional traumas as a light worker through that judgment or ridicule. And so as your body becomes more and more chronically flooded with these stress hormones, over time, over your lifetime, your body becomes addicted to them. It has to have those hormones all the time. So then what begins to happen is this is when your body becomes your subconscious. Your body begins to crave those hormones. And so it will literally influence your mind to seek out situations in which it can have that emotional response. And it can be flooded with those hormones and get its fix. And so this is where you will start actively seeking out the situations that are emotionally destructive. You can be in a relationship that's tumultuous, it has problems, you see the red flags, you know that you should probably go, but you don't. You begin to ignore the subtleties and the annoyances. Or your friends, maybe they are very negative, maybe they ridicule you, maybe it's just not in resonance, it's not harming you, just don't feel good in that space for no reason other than it's not a match. Or again, you stay at a job way past its expiration date you're not being paid well, you're not being treated well, things like that, all because subconsciously your body is looking for its next fix. This is where people also get addicted to social media or television, watching reality TV where they have a tendency to be dramatic and gossipy, or the news where it's that doom and gloom and fear mongering, and all of that is because we're actually searching out for triggers. We're actually looking for that heightened emotional response to get our fix. And so one of the first things we want to do is, as we go in and evaluate our trauma lines, we also want to evaluate how addicted we are to a chemical response. If we have a pain expectation pattern that's playing out in our life because we're addicted to that chemical response. So that's often the missing link that isn't talked about, and that's one of the powerful things that I do in sessions, in private sessions. So we have the full picture and a full mind, body, spirit incorporation and healing. We're not only focusing on one particular problem. And we want to be able to eradicate those pain expectations and pain patterns from our lives so that we can truly move forward. Because if we're maintaining those same patterns based on the past, based on that chemical addiction, then we can't create infinite degrees of freedom. Because our mind is creating a belief or an agreement as to how things are going to work without allowing it to evolve on its own. And our body is also seeking out a trigger so it can have a chemical response. People often wonder why they'll reflect back in their lives. Well, I was in this amazing relationship with this person once, but I can't figure out why I left. Now that I look back on it, it was pretty amazing. That's why you weren't being triggered. It wasn't feeding you. And I'm sure if you have this pattern, if you reflect back on that, there's probably been many things that you walked away from or didn't even go move into because it wasn't going to trigger you. It wasn't going to feed that line in you. And so we really want to focus on that and dive into that. After we release any potential chemical addictions that we have in our body, the next step is activating our heart gateway, because this is the space and the place where we can even begin to create a life that we truly love. This is the space where we can see ourselves clearly. We can see who we are and what we want clearly and begin to create it. We create a life we love. And most people's heart gateways are deeply shut down in their childhood. And this is due to a series of programming that we experience, because from 0 to 7 years old, we are in alpha and theta brainwaves. That means we're in a hypnotic state, absorbing the world around us. We are learning about the world. We're learning about the people in our world and who we are in this world. And we're picking all of this up from everyone around us. So basically, we're being told everything. We're being taught everything. So if all of the people in our family, in our society, in our culture, at our school, within our religion, if they have a series of beliefs and agreements, then we pick up their beliefs and agreements as to how the world functions and how we participate within the world structure. So it's very easy for us to get lost, for our truth and our true side to get lost in this deep, deep programming. And we forget what makes us happy. We forget what we want to do. As small children, we're conditioned, oftentimes sit still, be quiet. You can't color, you can't do your favorite thing right now. We need to do this right now. We're redirected frequently. And then at school, we're taught as small children that we have to sit and pay attention and absorb everything that we're being taught and told for long periods of time for the majority of our week. So this programming is intense. It's no wonder we lose ourselves and forget who we are, what we came here to do, what we came here to create, what makes us happy. And as we enter into relationships or get jobs, it's easier for it to blur more and more without that support, without someone encouraging us and asking us important questions. Who are you? What do you want to be when you grow up? Without it being, if we say we want to be president, well, that's not possible, or that's going to require a lot of education, or you should try this, or you should try that. It's without anyone trying to redirect us, without anyone putting their 2 cents into everything we want to do and be, we don't stand a chance. We get lost. And so it's really important that we begin to spend quality time building that connection in with our heart again. We start asking ourselves those really important questions. And it's really easy if you can have someone go in and read your soul blueprint and open that dialogue for you, ask questions that you maybe never even thought of, or bring up things that you never even considered. I don't know how many times in sessions when I pull someone's soul blueprint through, I will tell them about past life mastery that they have had. And they're blown away because they'd never considered it, but they've always been drawn to that type of modality and never even gave it a shot. Or passion points, which are vitally important to building that connection and that safety within this physical plane. It makes your heart radiate because you're finding joy and bliss in what you're doing within this life. And people will often say, I have no idea where to even begin. I don't even know what makes me happy. So when I go in and read their passion lines, they're the same thing. I've always wanted to do that. That's on my bucket list. That's on my wish list. I've just never made time for it, or, never considered just jumping in. So having those 2 things in your life that within that heart gateway expedites the creative process and the creation process, so you can truly begin to create one step at a time, to begin to move your life forward, to begin to create little pieces of the things that are vitally important to you, and bring you that joy and bliss and that excitement and momentum to keep creating, for things to expand and get bigger and bigger. And all it begins with is a simple yes, a simple willingness to want to dive in and discover who you are at a soul level and open up your soul blueprint. Once we connect into our soul blueprint, everything begins to expand, and we're connected into our beautiful heart gateway. Our heart doesn't use those same agreement and belief filters. It isn't reliant upon desiring a chemical release. The heart just radiates the truth as it knows it, at moment to moment, change to change, situation, person, whatever is being presented with. And the beauty of the heart is within 3 minutes, your heart will tell you if this is in resonance, if this person, situation, whatever it is, if it's in resonance with you. The trick is listening. How many times a day do you get those heart hits, those heart pings that say, oh, this would be amazing, and then it moves up into your mind, into your analytical mind, and your mind's like, no, we don't have time for that, we don't have the money, we don't have the education, you really should lose those 15 pounds, you need this, and this before you can even begin to do it. Your mind just starts going crazy with all of the no-no-nos. When your heart said yes, your heart saw infinite degrees of expansion and freedom. And it's like, oh, we've been wanting this. I'm so glad you're finally here. And then we stop it. We don't do it because our mind takes over all of those agreements and beliefs, pain expectations from the past, overrides everything. So an important part of the process, the next step of the process, is learning to slow everything down, how to listen, how to be here now in this very moment. Every moment is different from the previous moment. We've grown, chances are people in our lives have grown, situations have changed. So we need to evaluate every situation, honestly, for exactly what's being presented to us at that moment. And we can only do that by being in that moment and slowing everything down and listening. And that takes some practice. Sometimes people's structure needs to be moved so your energy is moving straight through that column of light. You don't have a block or a deviation that's preventing you from even accessing your heart. If you've had a lot of trauma in your past, could be hanging your energy up and blocking it from moving straight through. Could be blocking it from activating your high heart, which after we activate our high heart, we actually move into having what I like to call a Trinity heart, where we're connected into the heart of Source and the heart of Gaia. So we're connected into our divinity and our physical being, this physical plane that we reside upon. And so we want to make sure that everything runs beautifully, that we can connect in, that we can be in our heart gateway. And you have to practice, try to slow everything down, see if you can anchor into your heart, if you can breathe into it. So a practice I like to do is breathe in through your nose, draw it into your heart, breathe out and feel your heart expand. See how uncomfortable it is for you to be in your heart. Can you be in your heart? Can you be still and present and silent with yourself? Does it make you uncomfortable? Does it bring up emotions? How does it feel? So play into that, and that'll give you some indications as to how deep you can go into the heart gateway process, how deep you can go into accessing your soul blueprint. If you would like to begin practicing and anchoring into all of these concepts, so that you can begin creating infinite degrees of freedom within your life. One practice I absolutely adore is to rehearse the action of what you want to create. Because what this does is it allows you to see where your mental programs, your mental patterns are. It allows you to see what's going on within your body. Again, it'll help you tune into any potential chemical addictions. And it allows you to begin to try to move through all of that, all while actually beginning to anchor into the frequency of what you want to create. So this is a really great process to help you begin to move through things gently and easily. So I like to envision what I want to create next. What would I be doing? What would be my actions if I was in it? So let's say you want to start your own business. So what would you be doing at this business? What would your day look like? What would it consist of? And the beauty of this process is as you see yourself going through those actions, through this visualization process, you're going to see where your mind goes. You're going to see if it pops up, oh, this is silly, this is stupid. Nobody's going to take you seriously. You can't create your own business. You're not going to have any people. You're not going to make any money. That's going to show you your beliefs and your patterns. What you say to yourself is going to show you what you need to work on. It's going to help be indicators of where to begin the work. And your body, how is your body responding? Is it really amping up for that negativity? Is it wanting to pull you out of alignment with it? Is it causing fear, butterflies in your stomach? Do you feel nauseous? Or do you feel excited? Do you feel exuberant? Do you feel, I can totally do this? All of this is going to show you where you're at. And if you happen to have anything that's a limiting perspective or a physiological reaction that you know is trying to slow you down and create a problem, then what I like to do is I like to say delete, transmute, and uncreate immediately. What that does is if my mind's wandering, if I start saying something that isn't in resonance with what I truly want, I can't do it, forget about it. You use that delete, transmute, uncreate immediately to stop that energy stream from continuing. We're trying to break all of those lines. Then, if you cannot continue on through the process, if it keeps doing it, I like to go into I am, whatever it is. I am a successful business owner for this example. Or it could be whatever you want. You're claiming what it is that you're visualizing. And while you're claiming it, while you're saying, I am blank, you're in your heart. You're claiming it in your heart center. You're pulling it in. You're trying to match that frequency of what it is that you're claiming within your heart. And then you go into with ease and grace. This is where you surrender into it. This is where you let everything go. Anything that wants to arise, anything that wants to chatter, any physiological sensations, you just surrender to them. You let them take over and you let them do what they need to do until they're gone. Don't try to resist, block, detach, observe. Just let it everywhere do its thing. And then after that process is complete, after the monkeys have ran all around causing hate and discontent, then you say now, and pull your energy down into your Earth Star chakra into the middle of the planet, and you're anchoring this entire intention into this physical plane to become a tangible creation. So it's I am whatever you desire. I am with ease and grace now. So begin practicing this intention. Begin to see how fast, how quickly you can begin to move through things. If you can begin to release troublesome triggers or perspectives or limitations or blocks in your life, how quickly you can move through them. See if you feel like you're getting stuck and hung up, you can't move forward, and you have a tendency to get overwhelmed or frustrated. Just begin to observe yourself through the creation process, because that'll really help you begin to understand what's going on and what's limiting your creation process. And for anyone that would like to go deeper and would like to expedite this process, because as always, it's easier to have someone that's a neutral observer, someone that's not attached. They don't have the emotional triggers. They don't have the emotional links and patterns, so they can observe everything clearly and see it for what it is. So they can go in and transmute it and explain it to you, give you the tools that you need to move forward. Then, of course, you can go to my website, and I have a course that teaches all of this, teaches the natural laws. It has tons of MP3s that are energetically infused to help you get that beautiful structure, that beautiful energetic structure where all of your chakras are running properly, creating that beautiful tube of light so you can create, opens your heart gateway into not only your higher heart, but connecting it into source heart and earth heart. So you're pulling in that vital life force energy and connecting it into this physical plane, the living grid. Being connected into the living grid is even going deeper than just grounding. It's what connects you into all of the dimensions. It helps you be multidimensional. And you learn the natural laws so you can create easily and effortlessly, because you understand how energy works. You don't have to worry about any loops or any funny feedbacks, because you understand how to consciously control it, and it teaches you how to utilize your free will. When you're in your free will, nothing can get in and throw you off. You're not easily influenced. Your energy runs at 100%. Your beautiful aura protects you. You don't have to worry about entities or curses or any of this stuff, because you are in such a high sovereign state and your aura is running at 100% with no tears, no rips. Nothing can get in. So you understand how to take care of your energy. You learn energy management protocols. So you become in complete control over your creation process. So this activates your double Merkaba, your 13 helixes. There's so much in there, and it even teaches you how to become a quantum alchemist practitioner. You can get your certification if that resonates, or you can just use it for your own personal use. So please test out some of these and see if you like them, and stay tuned next for our wonderful group process and meditation.
Find a comfortable seated position. Relax deeply into your body. Take 3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Connecting into this present moment, releasing the past and the future, being here now. Continue to breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth, into your heart chakra, dropping your conscious thinking mind down into your heart. Breathing through anything that needs to go. Allowing anything to rise up and out with each breath, so you are fully and completely anchored in your heart. Connecting into its beautiful, healing, emerald green glow of unconditional love. Feel yourself surrender completely into this space. Relaxing your eyes, your mind, your jaw, neck and shoulders, chest. Each breath becoming easier and deeper. Relaxing your torso and your back, your hips, your stomach, your thighs, your hands and your feet. Surrendering deeply into yourself. Going deeper, deeper into this emerald green glow. Feeling yourself surrender to your deep truths, your heart song, whispers of your soul. And the more you surrender, you feel yourself connecting deeply, almost falling into the beautiful golden glow of the living grid, Gaia's ley lines, her energy stream, portals, the vital life force energy of the planet. You feel almost like you're laying on a bed of beautiful golden Gaia energy. It gets brighter and brighter as you breathe in this vital life force energy into every fiber of your being, your bones, your cells. You breathe it in deeply. Feels like it's recharging every vital battery within your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit. And you allow yourself to surrender to accepting and opening to all the vital life force energy you need on any level. You allow it to move into your mind, relaxing it, releasing the past, releasing any trigger trauma points, allowing it to move into both hemispheres of your brain for balance, true sight, healthy emotional responses, sovereign thinking. You allow it to move into your body, healing and rejuvenating it to its very core, to a quantum level. Allowing yourself to be healed and rejuvenated, not blocking it, resisting it on any level, knowing you deserve to feel 100%. You deserve to have the energy to create momentum in your life. You deserve to be at peace and relaxed. You deserve to feel joyous, loved, relaxing into everything you've ever desired to have more of in your life through these very frequencies. Relaxing, breathing it into your spirit for enhanced energy, a connection to your soul blueprint, helping your chakras run smoothly for DNA activation, dormant abilities, structures, creating a magnetism within your auric field of things you desire to create in your life. More abundance, more passion, more purpose. Breathing that vital life force energy into your spiritual, energetic self, creating an attraction point to infinite degrees of freedom, multiple opportunities, knowing you deserve more abundance in your life. Having more abundance means being more relaxed, being able to create your dreams, being able to move freely about the world as you desire, being able to help others, being able to help create a sovereign world for all. This is your divine right, the divine right of all of humanity. Open, surrender, allow. And continue breathing this in as much as you desire until you feel completely rejuvenated. And come back to this process as often as you need it.